Looks like a storm.
We should be in Truro before it breaks, I think.
Well, I hope so. I don't like storms, especially on the road.
You have to go on from there?
Not far, about a mile or two. I'll be all right if the rain holds off. No, thank you.
I shall have a carriage waiting for me, ma'am, to take me home. You're welcome to share it.
Thank you, sir.
And you too, sir, if you're not similarly provided.
Thank you. I've got further to go. I'll hire a horse in Truro.
You come far, sir?
From New York.
Good heavens. All the way from the New World? May I ask what you were doing there, sir?
I was a soldier.
A soldier? Oh, yes, of course, the war. Well, but that's over now.
Yes.
Shocking business, eh? Losing the colonies. You must have seen some very interesting things, sir.
Yes.
Tell me, are the Indians as savage as we're told?
They're much like you or me, Reverend. Give or take a few suits of clothes.
Now you surprise me, sir. You do surprise me. Well, they're not Christians, of course.
Often more Christian than we.
Extraordinary. You know, I would never have believed that if you hadn't told me. That's the influence of the colonists, I suppose.
They're often more Christian without their influence than with it.
You must be joking, sir. Oh, surely you must be joking. May I introduce myself? My name is Johns, Reverend Johns. And you, sir?
Captain Poldark.
Poldark? But then we must be related, sir. By marriage, I think. You had an Aunt Mary.
Yes, she died some time ago.
She did, sir, she did indeed. Well, she had a cousin who was my mother. Your Aunt Mary was married to Mr. Charles Poldark, am I correct, sir?
Yes, he's my uncle.
And he has a son, Francis, and a daughter, Verity. I see them from time to time. And you, if I'm not very much mistaken, must be Ross. Oh, bless my soul, bless my soul. Oh, may I express my sympathies, sir, on the death of your father?
Thank you.
Of course, it's all coming back to me now. Is before you left, there was some...
I killed a man in a duel, Reverend.
Yes, some unpleasantness, I remember. Oh, but that's all over and done with now. Well, I do believe you're right. We shall beat the storm to Truro.
Mr. Pierce? It's Mr. Poldark.
Who? Poldark? What's he want?
How should I know?
Well, ask him.
He's here.
Ross?
Yes, Mr. Pierce.
Ross? Well, bless my soul, we thought him were dead, didn't we, Ellen?
You told me, Mr. Pierce. I didn't tell you. I didn't think one way or the other.
What's she say?
How are you?
You'll have to speak up a bit, boy. I got a bit of blockage in that ear.
How are you, Mr. Pierce?
Oh, I'm well. Well, yes, of course I am. But you're supposed to be dead. Now, looky here. I had a letter from your regiment. Now, where is it? Ellen, you been clearing up again?
You want me anymore, Mr. Pierce? I'd like to go to bed.
What she said?
It's all right, Ellen, you can go.
I had a letter all the way from America. I wrote to you telling me your father's death, and your colonel wrote back to me telling me you were dead too. Damn it, where is that letter?
Mr. Pierce, it doesn't matter.
Eh?
I saw the letter. It's a long story. I'll tell you about it some other time.
But damn it, they told me you were dead. First your father, and then you.
Did he suffer much?
Eh?
Father, did he suffer much?
Oh, a little bit, Ross. A little bit. No use saying he didn't.
What are you looking for?
Where's the port, Ross? I got a bottle here somewhere.
What was Father's estate when he died?
Oh, nothing, Ross, nothing. Nampara, of course, the house, and the land and the 2 mines, Wheel Leisure and Wheel Grace. But I'm no good without any money.
Other debts?
A few. One largish amount to your Uncle Charles, 300. Or was it 400? I got the papers here somewhere.
Never mind now, here. To you.
No, to you, Ross, boy, to you. Not bad port, eh? Come, pour another.
Did Father leave a will?
No, you were his only heir. I don't suppose he thought he needed it. I know someone who'll get a shock.
Who?
Your uncle, boy. Your Uncle Charles. He's inherited everything, or thinks he has. Step me, I'd like to see his face when you walk in.
What did Father borrow the money for?
Eh?
Father! What did he borrow the money for from Uncle Charles?
Oh, well, Ross, you know...
A woman?
Well, he was an active man, and he liked to enjoy himself now and again. And your mother died so long ago.
It's a lot of money.
Well, there was more than one. And it soon goes. Damn it now, don't you go criticising him, Ross. You weren't such a saint yourself. And now he's gone. My old friend gone.
I need a horse.
Huh? Well, mine's in the stable, boy. Take it, take it. Send Judd back with it tomorrow.
Are they still at the house? Judd and Prudy?
Ah, pair of rogues. Don't know why your father ever kept them. Never did any work. And they drank all his port. Would he be staying, Ross, do you think? You ought to get married.
I have it in mind.
Oh, yes, I remember now. There was a girl before you went away. What was her name?
Elizabeth Chenoweth.
That's right, Chenoweth.
Have you seen her lately?
No, I never go out, Ross, no. I still do a little legal work, but I don't see much of anybody. Will you be calling on your Uncle Charles on the way home?
I think so. It'll save another journey.
Oh, I'd like to be there when you meet. I'd give me right arm to be there when you walk in. Now, mind how you ride. Roads are worse than when you went away. Nothing's been done. Parish won't spend any money on them.
I'll call in again later in the week.
Where's Tam? Mrs. Tam! Confounded woman, are you deaf? Could you not hear the door?
Hurry, sir. I used to be going. I'm happy everywhere.
Do the figures of this mine not interest you at all?
Of course they do, Father. I was just thinking.
Why is it when you're thinking you appear to others to be asleep?
I take it from the irritation in your voice that the figures won't come out.
Look, sir. Look who's here.
What?
Hello, Uncle. Francis?
Ross!
Ross! Father, look who it is!
I can see.
Mrs. Tabb, go and tell Verity quickly the Ross is here.
Miss Verity.
Dear boy, you must forgive me, but your arrival is something of a shock. Well, somebody blundered then. We had reports.
The regiment thought me dead and reported it so.
Well, not dead. Not dead at all. Well, thank heaven you were spared. We were quite distraught when we heard the news, eh, Francis?
Oh, there's justice in heaven after all.
Well, could you not have let us know you were coming? We'd have met you, wouldn't we, Francis?
I'd have arrived with the mail. There was no point.
Look.
Mercy me. Mercy me. Cousin Ross. How thin you look.
I was a year in a French prison camp. I escaped and walked for 2 months to New York. The regiment was just leaving for England. It's nothing.
I like it.
David, didn't have it put there for fun.
Nevertheless, I'm prepared to say it adds a touch of romance.
Oh, perhaps we should all get one.
I was hit by a shell. The French patched me up. It could have been worse. The limp, I'm told, will disappear. The scar, I'm afraid, will not.
Mrs. Tabb, bring some supper.
Let's see, girl, it's here. Haven't I got eyes in me head? Can I see the man's hungry?
Mrs. Tabb, it's only him. He hasn't brought his entire regiment with him.
Oh, why, that's to be going on with while I carve the chicken, Mr. Francis.
It's enough, more than enough, Mrs. Tabb.
Ah, get on with it, sir. You'll be as thin as a stick. I'll carve it anyway. I'll be sure Mr. Francis will pick at some.
Ross, sit down. This is, as you can see, a great surprise to us all.
I know someone else who will be surprised. Elizabeth.
Have you seen her?
Yes, we've seen her.
Well, will you keep him talking all night? Let the boy get to his meal. You've seen no one, I suppose, Ross, since you've arrived?
I called in on Mr. Pierce, that's all.
You know about your father, then? Oh, it was a sad business, Ross. I did what I could, but he could be stubborn as a mule when he wanted to. He let the place go to rack and ruin at the end, you know.
Father.
The truth never hurt anyone. He was my brother. I've a right to speak. I was fond of him. But he wanted no help from me except money, and I knew better than to lend him money. So in the end, I let my heart rule my head, and I shouldn't have done. Doesn't pay, but I'm like that. That's my nature. In a crisis, sentiment rules me. It doesn't pay in the end.
When did the loan fall due, Uncle?
Well, who knows when it fell due? Do I pay attention to such things when they concern my own family? I've got the papers here somewhere. A month ago, well, perhaps 2 months.
Was it secured?
Oh, your father insisted. Everything had to be drawn up legally. He wanted no favors.
What was it secured on?
On wheel leisure. Not that that matters. Well, wouldn't have done in the normal way of things, but of course... there, here we are. Here's some chicken, that's a good bird. Here. Let me help. We've got to fatten you up. You'll be going down with a sickness. You mark my words. This weather's damned inclement.
Well, there'll be no food at the house, Ross. What have I no Judd?
Sloth and slut. That's what I call them. Take my advice, you'll get rid of them tomorrow. And don't pay them anything either. They'll have drunk a year's wages in advance, I'll be bound.
What did you mean, Uncle, in the normal way of things?
Well, Father has sold wheel leisure to Nicholas Warlegger.
Hold your tongue. If there are explanations to be made, I'll make them.
Sold?
Of course not. Leisure wasn't mine to sell, but you must understand, Ross, your father left no will. Everyone thought you were dead, and therefore, as next of kin, I was the natural heir to your father's estate.
Go on.
Now, do you remember the Warleggers, the most powerful mining and banking family in Truro?
They were not so powerful as I remember.
They've become so since you went away.
They were not landed people like us, Ross. They were blacksmiths originally.
So that's not important. The point is that the father, Nicholas Warleggan, heard your father's estate was coming to me, and he wanted the mine, so he made me an offer. Very handsome, too, I may say. And, frankly, I didn't want it. I've trouble enough with my own. Copper being the price it is, I was only too happy to sell. And so it was agreed. When the estate was legally handed over, Warleggan should get wheel leisure.
Well, Father, it's no longer for you to say.
No. No, indeed, and I'm delighted. Oh, Ross, it was a great grief to us when we heard that you'd been killed. Well, Verity here cried for 2 days and nights. She nearly floated us out to sea on her tears. Oh, well, well. God works in strange ways. Of course, Ross, it's a good offer. You might still like to sell it. It'd give you money to start farming. And Warleggan can be a very good friend.
I don't think so.
Well, it's worth thinking about.
I am thinking, Uncle. I'm thinking that if the mine seems worthwhile to Warleggan, and he being such an astute entrepreneur, why, that's a good recommendation to work it myself.
Why not, indeed?
You'd be hanging a millstone round your neck, boy. I'm not even sure Warleggan means to work it. He may just want to keep it closed. It may pay him. He can affect the price of tin and copper hereabouts by withholding the supply. We can't. It'll take the deuce of a lot of capital to get it working.
Well, Warleggan's not the only one with access to capital, I take it. Unless he prints his own money. I'll look at the mine, Uncle. Wheel Grace, too, perhaps.
Wheel Grace was worked out in your father's day.
But not Wheel Leisure. Oh, maybe Francis would like to look at it with me.
I'd be glad to, Ross.
Why? What's it to us?
If it were found worth working, why, you might like to come in with me. You could convert your loan into a share.
Why not? It seems to me the Warleggans own enough property as it is. They're multiplying like locusts and eating everything as they go.
Hold your tongue.
I'm prompted only by consideration for your interests, Father.
Malice is the only thing that prompts you, Francis. Malice born of idleness. You shift yourself little enough on your own behalf and resent others doing so on theirs.
I just think it worth looking at.
You may look at what you like, but as to investments, that is for me to decide.
Well, there's no need to decide now, Uncle. Let us wait and see.
Russ, I'm in no position to take a part share in the mine, even if it was worth it. It'd give monumental offence to Warleggan if, after agreeing to sell him the place, I then turned round and bought a share in it myself.
Well, it's not for me to say what Warleggan will take offence at. Or to care, for that matter. I must get up to the house.
Stay here the night, Ross. Things will be so uncomfortable there.
I would. But I'm anxious to get home and see just how uncomfortable things are.
Was there not something you had to tell Ross, Francis?
Well, no, nothing that can't wait until tomorrow. Ross, now, look, you look tired. I'll see you out. There's a lantern you can take to light your way.
Thank you, Uncle, for the meal. And for all you did for Father.
Oh, it was very little, Ross. I won't pretend otherwise. I could have done more if he'd let me. You'd have had more if he'd listened to me.
I'll ride over soon to see you.
Oh, we are glad to see you back, Ross.
I count myself fortunate to be back.
Oh, that's deuced awkward. Deuced awkward.
That he's back?
You go, come, girl. I'm not to be preached at. The boy's alive, and thank God for it. But I'd be a hypocrite to pretend the results won't be awkward.
Mr. Ward-Legan will understand.
Oh, he'll understand all right. He won't let the matter rest there. You may be sure of that. Once he gets his mind set on something, it takes a devil's own shoulder to shift him.
Do you not think you might have told him you're engaged to Elizabeth?
Why? What affair is that of Ross?
Only that there was an understanding between them which everyone was aware of.
There was nothing hard and fast. Any understanding there was ended when he stopped writing.
Well, that was no fault of his, as it turns out.
My dear, Elizabeth has pledged herself to your brother. They're to be married. Do you suggest it was in want of Ross that she did so?
Why not ask him?
Oh, well, do you? Are you telling me you're so spineless you think you were chosen at second best?
She was in love with him before he left. How do I know what goes on inside a woman's head?
Have you no confidence in yourself at all?
When did you ever allow me to have?
Where are you going?
See Elizabeth. I'd rather she weren't caught off guard by his sudden arrival tomorrow. It seems to me the answer to your question is yes. It was in want of Ross that she took me, but we'll try to keep her.
This is how you repay my father, letting his home go to rack and ruin.
Nothing but a few things here and there. Prudy and me, we've been sick, terrible sick.
Drunk sick.
That was for match. It is well known that a liquor.
I want this house clean from top to bottom before you go to bed.
That's for bed. Well, for bed.
I told you I was sick.
Drunk.
Oh, no, that's a wicked thing to say about a poor sick woman.
Oh, John, I think me hand's coming. I can hear angels, John.
Sit down, my dear. Master Ross, go for Dr. Choke.
Yeah.
Going for doctor, are you, Master?
Another bucket of water.
Oh, no. Oh, I see thee coming with a wicked cruel heart, Master Ross, and any love with such a tender one. No, John, if I be dead afore morning, he knows where I'm to be buried.
There's a horse outside to be taken care of. Put her in the stables and give her some feed.
Them be your own.
And don't take all night about it.
Now, Prudy, you take good care of yourself while me's gone.
Master, he don't want no deaths his first day home.
I'll take good care of Prudy, don't worry. She'll be too busy to pass out tonight. Tomorrow, perhaps, when she's cleaned the house. Now, go and see to that horse! Take this lantern and start upstairs in my bedroom.
I said nothing wrong with your room, Master Ross. But nobody set a foot inside it since you left.
Then there's 3 years of dirt in it, Prudy. To say nothing of a pool of water on the floor.
Oh, well, I said he brought mighty strange ways home with it. Oh, if the Lord should spare me long enough, I dare say I shall get you some.
The horse you stabled last night belongs to Mr. Pierce. Take it back to him this morning.
What's it true?
Unless he moved in the night to Falmouth, that's where you'll find him.
The devil of a hard walk back, Master.
Not so hard as the boot I'll kick you with if you're not back by 2 o'clock. And start on that roof when you return. Get up, Darky. Come on. Come on.
Hello, Ross.
Elizabeth. You seem unsurprised that I'm here.
Francis rode over last night to tell me you'd come back.
Ah. That was good of him. Still, I'd have preferred to have brought you the news myself.
Perhaps he thought it would be too cruel if you simply walked in on us. We heard you were dead.
I was as near dead as made no difference.
It's a mercy then you're alive and the horrid war is over.
Yes.
So many died we hear it all seems rather pointless now.
To us, perhaps, but not to them.
The colonists. You must tell me what it was like in the New World. Must have been very interesting.
I might have stayed, had it not been for you.
I'll have some ale brought in, or would you prefer port?
I want neither. I lay a year in a French prison camp and thought of nothing but you. I escaped and walked for nearly 2 months over the Appalachians and down to New York with only one thought in my head, to see you again. And now it's, hello, Ross, it's a mercy you're alive, and you must tell me your experiences in the New World. Have you been reading books on the art of polite conversation? Leave the bell alone. It's perhaps foolish of me to imagine that everything would remain exactly as it was when I
Ross,
left. But
I'm engaged to Francis. We're to be married at the end of the month. I would have thought he'd have told you. It would have seemed kinder, but... Well, he always was a little in awe of you. I think we must forgive him for that.
I don't understand.
Happened about 6 months ago. We discovered we liked each other and began seeing more of each other.
Francis? Well, you can't be serious.
If you're to take that tone, Ross, I'd rather not discuss it at all.
In the name of God, what tone do you expect me to take? You were in love with me.
That was some time ago.
Not so long as I remember. We promised to wait.
I did wait.
Not long enough.
But I didn't tell you to go away. You thought little of my feelings when you left.
We could have married. You were of age.
I was just of age. Father asked only that I wait for 2 years. Was I to go against his wishes?
Oh, don't talk to me of your father's wishes. What were they but thinly disguised hopes you'd come to see me different and change your mind?
I think that's unfair. You had a reputation. He was worried for me. All he said was wait.
Well, I waited. Not here, perhaps, but elsewhere. What difference does it make? But did you?
We heard you were dead. Was I to go into a nunnery?
Oh, Elizabeth. Well, perhaps I was wrong to go away. It was impulsive, but I went. Now I'm back. That changes things, doesn't it? You're only engaged. Engagements have been broken before. No one will think the worse of you for it.
I don't want to break it.
Are you in love with him? Are you in love with him?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
You may believe it, Ross.
So you've come back to us, Ross.
Shanath?
We were so glad to get the news last night that you were alive. Elizabeth, did you not offer Ross some refreshment?
Oh, I was about to...
Oh, it doesn't matter. I must be on my way.
Will you be settling down now, or will you be off on your travels again soon?
I must see how things turn out.
I warn you, your return will excite great interest among the young ladies hereabouts. The game has been very thin on the ground all the season.
Really? I intend to remain in the hunt myself, ma'am. Goodbye, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, Ross.
We shall see something of you, I hope, when you're settled again.
Oh, before then, I think. Don't come out. I know my way.
I'm glad he came back. For his sake and yours.
And mine.
So you may see for yourself there is nothing to regret. He's not for you, Elizabeth.
Francis?
Mr. Morgan. My cousin, Ross.
I thought it was. How do you do, sir? I heard you were back. Seems you cheated the devil of his due from what I hear.
Ah, you shouldn't believe all he tells you, Mr. Warlegan.
Bless me, sir, you're a man after my own heart. You give and take with the best. I like your cousin, Francis. He's a man to do business with. This meeting could not have been better arranged. I was on my way to see your uncle to ask him to introduce us. Could we talk, Captain Poldark? I've got something I think you'd like to hear.
We're on our way to Wheel Leisure.
'Tis about the mine I want to talk.
It'll be better if we talk when I've seen it.
Oh, as to that, I can save you a journey. You'll find nothing there'll give you much joy. I had one of my mine captains over it a while back.
He was trespassing then.
Damn me, but you're sharp. But of course 'twas unknowing. We thought the mine was coming to your uncle.
Well, we'll not press charges this time. Hey, Francis.
Now, look here, sir. Let's be practical. The mine will take a lot of money to work. I have money, sir. I hear you need it. And what more sensible than we get together and talk? You'll not find me ungenerous.
You've got mines, Mr. Warlegan. It's not good for one man to have so many.
'Tis good business sense, sir. It is good business sense for you, too. Farming needs capital as well as mines.
It's good of you to be so concerned about my interests. And I like the frank and open way you go about things. It deserves a frank and open response, so here you have it. I've no intention of selling the mine, Mr. Warlegan, but if I had, it would not be to you. I disapprove of one man owning so much. It puts all others at a disadvantage through no fault of their own. So, let's have no more talk of it, and I'm sure we'll get along famously. Good day, sir.
Good day, Mr. Warlegan.
Be careful as you come. This ladder's none too safe.
Yes, so I can see.
We've got new ones at Grambler, all iron.
I've reached the second level. They worked it out. I'm going on to the next.
Nasty stench. I wonder how many unwanted brats would drop down here.
That's the old pumping gear. We might be able to get it working again. That's the tunnel to the lower seam. Let's go and look at it. Tin.
Well, if that's all that's here, we could have saved ourselves the trouble.
No, we're not on the main load yet. I found some samples at home that Father brought out of the mine. There's copper here somewhere. Question is, how much? And how easy will it be to bring out?
Ross, look, about Elizabeth. Well, I never really meant to come between you. It simply happened.
There's no blame to you, Francis. But it's for her to decide.
Decide? What the devil do you mean, decide? Ross!
Ross! Wait a minute. What the devil do you mean for her to decide?
She's decided.
Women have been known to change their minds, Francis.
Damn you! What right have you to interfere? We're engaged.
And I don't accept your engagement. I don't wish to talk about it anymore.
Ross, listen now! What?
Oh, you took your time.
I forgot you couldn't swim.
Oh, did you think to let me drown?
No, damn it, I didn't. What a fool. You see, it's you who has all the clever ideas, Francis, not me. Pass me my hat. I want to go and look at that load over there. I'll be a few minutes. Can you avoid falling in while I'm gone?
Now, look here, sir. I've overstayed my time. I'm not used to that. Your objections astound me, sir. Astound me.
He is my dead brother's son.
I just sentiments do you proud. I have a great family feeling myself, sir. But I wouldn't let it make a liar of me in a business arrangement.
I resent the implication of that remark.
Well, I put it perhaps a little strongly. But then that's just the measure of my feeling. Do you blame me, sir? We had an arrangement.
It was contingent upon the estate coming to me. Was I to know the boy would return from the dead?
That is not the burden of my complaint. The letter of the agreement is dead, 'tis true. But the spirit requires that you use your best endeavors to purchase the mine for me.
I have said I will do what I can. I'll speak to my nephew again.
Oh, come, Paul Dark, you owe it to me to do more. You have a debt against the estate. You can press it. Since there's no money in the estate, something will have to be sold. What can he sell but one of the mines? Wheel Grace is next to worthless, so it has to be Wheel Leisure.
You must let me think it over. The ethics of business today do not come easily to me.
Why, you but want the practice? Let me do it. Sell me the note. I'll buy it at its face value. And throw in some shares in the Warligan mines. What say you, eh?
I must think on it.
Good.
Why, Mr. Warligan?
Why, sir, and would I be correct in assuming the mine has more water in it than tin? But I like that young man, your cousin. I'm sure we shall end up doing business. Good day, sirs, to you both. I look forward to our next meeting.
Well,
There's a good rich vein of copper there, but it will take a lot of money to get it out. But we could work it ourselves. With Ross.
I'm not anxious to make an enemy of Warlegan for life. What happened to you?
I fell into the water. It was rather deep.
Yes. If there's deep water to be found, you'll find it.
Confound and damn it, where is it? I had it here a minute ago. Oh, blast the thing. It must have wings.
Here it is.
Ah, that's it. Now, my boy, the terms are hard. 9% to be compounded half-yearly, and the first capital repayment to begin in 2 years.
That's not so bad.
Well, I got the best terms I could out of old Pasco. Now, look here, I said. I'll guarantee this loan myself, if that's what you want. No, Mr. Pierce, he says, no. It's enough you know the young man. Know him, I said. Why, old skinflint, you know him well enough yourself. His father kept his money here long enough. You can afford to give him a loan for nothing for the use you made of it. I told him, Ross, I said, you miserable old beggar. You greedy old skinflint, I said. I keep my money in your bank, Pascal, I said, client's money. And by God, I'll take the whole lot out and I'll put it into Warlegan's if I hear so much as 14% again.
The terms are fair, Mr. Pierce. You did well for me. The loan will buy pumps and haulage gear, and there'll be people willing to invest once leisure's working again. Let me sign it.
Right, now sign down the bottom there. That's it. Thank you. Ellen, come you here. I'll get this to the bank and you can draw on it when you want.
What do you want?
Come you here and witness this document.
Oh, witness, is it? I better go tidy myself up a bit.
Come, blast it, woman, come back here. You witnessing a signature, not going to a ball.
If you don't care how I looked when I witnessed a document, I'm sure it's of no matter to me. I thought it was important.
Now, where's the port?
Well, I must go, Mr. Pierce. Thank you for everything.
But the port?
Next time.
Oh.
How do you sign my name, Mr. Pierce?
More tea.
No. I think I'll go before Judd comes through the roof. You will come and see us, Ross. You won't stay away when they get married.
They're not married yet.
She won't change her mind, Ross.
She's given her word to Francis. That makes it hard for her, but she gave it thinking I was dead. There's no honor that will hold her to it. She's in love with me, Verity. I saw it in her face.
There's something else you should know. She's deeply devoted to her parents.
Don't I know that?
Well, there's something more. Something you don't know. They're heavily in debt, the house and the land, some £300 or £400. My father has offered to help if the marriage takes place.
So that's it. That's very generous.
Well, and in a way, why not? The property will come to Elizabeth when her parents die. Francis will benefit from it. It makes sense to keep it in the family.
I wish you'd told me before.
I only tell it to you now to show you that even if she loves you, she will not marry you. You must let her go. Let Francis have her. They'll be happy enough. Make up your mind to it and look elsewhere. Oh, Ross.
I can't let her go.
Ross, how very nice. Were you passing this way?
I came to see you.
Oh, that's kind. I know how busy you must be at the house.
I don't care about the house.
Well, that's not what I hear. I saw Verity yesterday. She said you were busy putting it in order.
I mean, I didn't come here to talk about the house. The house is nothing to me. If I put it right, it's because I don't take naturally to living in a pigsty. There's no more to it than that. Listen to me. The reasons for your marrying Francis do you credit, but there's no need for it.
I don't understand.
Your father and mother are in financial difficulties. They're afraid of losing the house and land.
No, I don't
But don't deny it. Verity told me.
Well, she had no right to.
But she did. And it's the best thing she could have done. You should have told me yourself. Do you think I wouldn't have raised hell and high water to get the money? What could you have been thinking of? I have money. I raised a loan in Truro. It was to get the mine working again, but it's of no consequence. I'll find partners and offer shares instead. The point is, I can pay off your father's debts. It'll make things hard for us, but it can be done. And we'll be together. Don't you see? It's what we used to talk about.
No. No.
I don't understand.
I intend to marry Francis.
Why? Why?
Because I love him.
No, you don't love him. Not as you did me. Not as you did me!
God, me! I don't want to marry you, Ross. Please understand that. I'll never marry you. I thought about it over and over while you were away. We're not right for each other.
But why?
Because you frighten me. There's a side of you that's unknown to me, a dark side, a side I can't get near. No, don't ask me to explain it. I can't, but it's there and it frightens me. It's not a life I see for myself.
You see a life for yourself with Francis?
Yes. Yes, I do. I know him better than he knows himself. There's no part of him he keeps hidden from me. I can see what my life with him would be. But not with you. I'm afraid of you, and that's the truth.
You're not afraid of me. It's life you're afraid of. You say you know Francis better than he knows himself, but then I thought I knew you, and here you show me a side of yourself I never suspected. Can people be known to each other so fully, even Francis? Well, if you think they can, I suppose that's all that matters to you. But is being safe and sure more important than being loved regardless? If everything about a man is to be known before you start, what's left to be discovered along the way?
I'll discover my children. My husband is another matter.
Well, marry whom you like, then. But don't ask me to bow gracefully out of your life, because I won't. Don't ask me to wish you luck, because I'll not do that either. I don't bless your marriage, I curse it. For you've thrown 3 lives away for the sake of an idea. An idea you have of yourself which is as false as the idea you have of me. I'll never give you up. There'll come a day when you'll want me as much as I want you now. Pray God it's not too late. For it'll be your only salvation. Wipe him down, Judd. I've driven him hard.
Hey, and your uncle's here. Been waiting half an hour.
Trudy! Trudy!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm coming, sir.
What's wrong?
Ah, Ross.
Hello, Uncle. Is this a social call, or is there something on your mind?
Well, it's both, Ross. We haven't seen much of you lately.
No. So that's not why you've been waiting for half an hour, is it?
Oh, I've nothing else to do. Judd said you'd be back soon.
And the glass is clean?
Oh, Master Ross, you will have your little joke in front of the guests. Oh, we come home a real tartar, Mr. Poldock, and he's such a tender-hearted youth when he went off to war.
Your health, Ross, and good fortune.
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you.
Well?
Don't press me, Ross. It's a little difficult, really. The fact is, Ross, I'm a little short of ready cash. Well, as you can imagine, what with a wedding and one thing and another. The crops weren't good last year. It rained all summer and ruined the harvest. Anyhow, I have this note of your father's. Now, I'm not pressing it, Ross. Not for a month or two, though it's overdue already, but I don't mind that. That's not my way. But I just wanted to tell you that, give you plenty of time. If in a month or so you can't meet it, then I shall have to discount it at a bank. That's all.
Warleggans?
Well, he's an old friend of mine. Probably Warleggans, yes. Of course, I'd give a further extension, Ross, before I sold it. That'll reduce its value a bit, but never mind that. Little enough to do for my own nephew, and of course it seems to solve problems all round. Gives you a little extra time and me some ready cash. Eddie. Oh, what's that?
The draft on Pascoe's bank. You can return the note when you've cashed it.
Well, I don't know what to say, Ross. You raise a loan, eh? Oh, well, that's splendid. That's splendid. Of course, I don't suppose you raised it to pay off the note.
No.
Well, I hope it's not putting you in a difficulty, Ross. I'd think about that offer of Warleggans if I were you. There's not much you can do without capital, and if I can be of any help. Well, I'd say goodbye, Ross. You'll come and see us again soon, eh?
Goodbye, Uncle.
Elizabeth Jane Sarah, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou obey him and serve him, love, honor, and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other, keep thee only unto him, so long as ye both shall live?
I will.